talk some girls basketball right now, and Auburn's going to have a new girls basketball coach, Walter Hill, an assistant at Auburn last year. Hey, Coach, congratulations on the new job, and thanks for coming on today.
Hey, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Good morning to you, fellas.
You know, when you look at the Auburn program, you know, and what Coach Hoover did there, you know, really had a lot of good things going there, been a pretty successful program. You know, what are you going to look to do, you know, kind of coming in, trying to continue some of the things that have been started there?
Yes, we're going to keep the tradition going. He's had a successful career there, a numerous amount of winning records. We're going to try to keep that going and just bring a couple little new things here and there.
You know, when you look at Auburn, you guys have had like Tierney Austin and Brianna Davis. You know, those guys have all done really well. I think Brianna was a Rock Valley College. She was an All-American, won a national championship. Now she's going to Georgia College. Does that help when you bring a kid out and say, hey, look what those kids do and look what you can do if you put your mind to it a little bit?
Yes, it's huge for the student athletes around the Rockford area to see fellow student athletes continue their education and their basketball careers.
You know, there's a couple of big-time programs in the conference. When you look at Boylan, Hononegah, Harlem had a very good year. You know, Auburn's been able to compete with them in different spots, but, you know, what do you think maybe it's going to take that next step and maybe try to break through with the conference title or something to that effect?
Well, I think we just have to continue to work hard at our craft, get in the gym, practice extra hard, and just go out and compete. You got to have high energy, and you got to give a lot of effort. And I think this year we'll make a little noise in the Nick 10.
You know, I know a lot of assistant coaches that have taken over the head coaching job. I think you find out you really appreciate the guy before you if you've never been a head coach like that at a program like Auburn, because there's a lot of stuff involved with it, isn't there, Coach?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, it is. That's a big shoe to fill, you know, because as an assistant coach, you're basically sitting back, making sure all the student athletes are headed in the right direction, and the coach, that's a major position to have.
You know, we've heard a lot of good things, a lot of people excited for you getting the job there. What does this mean to you to get that head coaching job?
Man, this is something that I've been waiting on for many years. I mean, I took the proper steps in preparing myself for it, and I'm just glad and happy that the kids and the parents, you know, went to bat for me. I mean, you know, I'm there every day with the kids, working them out, getting them prepared for not only basketball, for school also.
Tell us about some of those things that got you ready to be the Auburn girls coach, Coach Hill.
Well, back when I was in high school at Boylan in 1996, under Coach Gore, he taught me a lot about the game of basketball. From there, I went to college down in Knoxville, Tennessee, played a year ball down there also, then came back to Rockford. Back in 03-04, I was hired to coach the 6th grade boys at West Middle School. My first year there, we won the city championship. So that was exciting. So a few years passed. Back in 07-08, Anthony Rock Box, he hired me over at Jefferson High School to be the head sophomore coach for boys. And we pretty much helped turn that program around back in that year, and we did pretty good. 2012 to 2013, Xavier Hoover and Anthony Rock Box had me go over to Kennedy Middle School, and I coached the 8th grade girls over there. We had a pretty good season. We were about 500, but I knew we had something special in the 2013-2014 year for the girls. We went 14-0 and won the city championship. After that, Coach Hoover moved me up to the Auburn High School freshman, and we competed very well up there also. And just last year, he moved me up to be the sophomore coach, and we had a pretty good season also. So I prepared myself in studying the game of basketball, being able to relate to the kids, and just staying on top of my craft.
Obviously that's a lot of steps. I'm sure maybe there were times that maybe you wish you were at a higher level or whatever, but obviously you did a good job where you're at. What would be your advice to maybe that young person looking to get into coaching on just, trying to get to the level where you're finally at here now?
Well, just stick with it. You're going to go through highs and lows in any sport that you try to coach in. You just have to be a strong-minded person and just keep pressing forward, and go about it the right way. Don't try to take on too much at an early stage. Just learn from different people. That's kind of what I did. I look at a lot of coaches, and I just try to put it in a big bowl and mix it all up together and come up with my own style of coaching.
Coach, you said you've coached boys and you've coached girls, and I've talked to coaches who have done both. There is a little bit of a difference when you're coaching either a boys team or a girls team, but I love girls basketball because they basically do play fundamental type basketball. Have you found that? Is that why you're happy to be the girls coach at Auburn?
Well, I like both, to be honest with you. The girls, they're, like you said, they're more fundamental. The guys, they get out there and just, it's pretty much go from the jump. But the girls, they really take their time, patient, and they execute plays. So it's a little different, but I like both. I like coaching both of them.
We look at the job at hand. You got some familiarity with the program. What do you see coming back for the team next year, and how your team can compete?
Well, we have a few starters that started a few games and also that came off the bench. They're going to have to take a major role this year. They're going to have to step up, become leaders, and just go out and show the younger class ladies that, hey, you put hard work in and we can go pretty far off into the Nick 10.
We're talking with new Auburn girls basketball coach Walter Hill. What are some of the things you guys are doing this summer to get prepared? I know the boys are all playing summer leagues and stuff. Are you involved in that, or do you have something down the road for the kids?
Well, right now I just got hired this week. I have to sit down with the AD, and we're going to go over some schedule. Right now we're out at the Harlem tournament, and I'm trying to get something set up to go up to Iowa for a 2-day tournament as well. But I'm still putting things in order, and hopefully pretty soon we'll have some more tournaments coming up.
We've talked to some of the boys coaches about how, they'll get, 40, 50 games in a short span in the summertime. Has the girls' side, gotten to that kind of level yet with the summer basketball?
Yes, in previous years, yes, they have gotten probably about 20, 25, maybe 30 games in. I'm looking to also do the same and even more if I can. So I just have to do my research and get all of our tournaments in order in the short span so that way I can get the girls up and running.
When you're looking for those different tournaments and whatnot, are you just looking for a place to make sure they can get some games and get some work in? Or do you really take some time and try to figure out, what teams are going to be there to try to really raise that level of competition?
Well, I'll get them in competitive competition games, because my philosophy is if you put them in the week tournament, then how much better are they really going to get or learn from it? I'd rather go to a tough tournament and take tough losses, but at the end of the day, we learn from it and get better.
And, Coach, as we get ready to let you go here in just a minute, how excited were you really? Because I think a lot of your friends got a hold of me and let me know you got the job. Were you pretty excited when you were finally hired as the head coach?
Oh, man, let me tell you, I was at my daughter's softball game. Phone rang, and it was the athletic director. I'm like, uh-oh, this is the time to either make or break, so once I talked to him and he gave me the heads up, I just, I was excited, very excited. And like I said once before, this was something that, as a young coach, going through the proper steps, this was the opportunity that I was waiting for. Whether it was boys or girls, I was looking to take that next step to be able to run my own program one day.
They move you up. That means that there's another job available. Have you started putting your staff together and who's going to help you out there with the program?
Say that again, please.
Have you started putting together, your assistant coaches and who's going to help you out there at the program?
Yes. I've been doing having a few contacts with a few people around here locally that's just like me, because I'm one of those high energy coaches. I never sit down. I coach like I play the game, and I try to see it through my eyes, as well as being an athlete that played previously. So I'm trying to surround myself with somebody like that, and also looking for a person that's up and coming, because without giving someone an opportunity, that person may never have a chance to coach at a high level.
And Coach, I know you're a Boylan grad. Can you give us one great moment as you played at Boylan? You played for Coach Steve Goers, the Hall of Famer. Give us one of your career moments at Boylan that everybody will say, yeah, I remember that. Do you have one?
Man, I got to tell you, 1996 Metro Center against Rock Island. That was the best moment of my basketball career at Boylan. Even though we lost the game, but we still played our hearts out and left it all on the floor, and I regret nothing about that day.
Well, that's a good one. I like that, Coach. Thanks so much. Hey, we look forward to seeing you this coming winter, playing some girls high school basketball. I know it's going to get here quick for you, because it usually does. Things kind of speed up when you're the head coach. And thanks for taking time today, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot, fellas. I really appreciate it. You can contact me anytime.
We've been talking to Walter Hill, the new head girls basketball coach at Auburn. I think they've made the right decision. I
think so. It's a great story. He talked about, all the different stops that he's made, and, the different levels, the different programs, So to see a guy work his way up like that, truly did. Worked his way up from, the 6th grade level all the way to where he's at now. It sounds like he's got a lot of energy, going to be very excited to get in there, got some familiarity with the program. I think they did make a good move. He's got a good basketball background. When you talk about, coming from Boylan, Coach Goers, played some in college, and then, some of the coaches that he's coached under, he talked about Coach Box, who did a good job in this area for a long time, and obviously Coach Hoover, who's done a great job there at the program. I think it's an excellent move. I think he's going to do a good job.
But he's got big shoes to fill.
That he does.
Hoover did a great job over there, and we always appreciated him coming on the show, too.